stopped going to the moon?
Well, the first question I'm not aware of at all. The second question is because the public wasn't supporting it, because the political wind shifted. And as I said earlier, John Kennedy, when we went to the moon, plucked 10 years out of the 21st century and pulled it back to the 20th century, and we went to the moon. But the public interest and desire has not been maintained. Presumably, we do things according to public interest in this country. And that going to the moon and going into space kind of fell from number one priority, which it was at that time.
Just really quickly too, what do you think about other countries starting to go into space?
I think it's natural, and I think when we, as I said earlier, when we do really get serious as a planetary civilization about going into space, it's going to take all of us doing it, because it's too expensive for any one nation, even a rich nation, or used to be a rich nation like our own. But to me, we must go as a civilization, and we're not quite there yet.
Thank you.
You mentioned earlier that you teach children. I'm a mother of 2 small children, and can you hear me? I'm new to the area, and there's so much information, it's overwhelming, but I want to teach my children. I don't want to scare them like the U.S. government, I don't want to panic them.
Right.
So I was wondering if you had an opinion, or if you could share how you deal with the subject with children, or if you don't, and just put that aside and teach consciousness.
Well, I think the way to, now this is a simplistic answer, the way to approach this subject begins with the fact of exciting them about discovery and new ideas, because it's all happening very fast, and children are very open to that. And the so-called paranormal, which by the way, paranormal is not the right word, it's very normal. Nothing paranoid about it. But the children have all of these capabilities, and we have suppressed them. We parents have suppressed them in our raising children, because, as a matter of fact, just to illustrate my point too, when Uri Geller I was first working with him 30-some years ago here in this country, and we were on television, major television station. He doing his thing, bending spoons, and fixing clocks, and all these sorts of things that he does. And children were seeing it. I was getting calls from mamas all over the place, but I'm sort of responding to those in local areas that I could get to. They're saying, please help me, Johnny. Although Johnny's bending spoons, he saw Uri Geller on television. And so I would take a spoon, or a couple of spoons, and go to mama's residence, and sit down with little Johnny, and I'd say, okay, Johnny, show me what you can do. And I would hold a spoon, and he'd rub it like Uri Geller, and the darn thing would twist up, like Geller did. So we know that kids, we all have these capabilities, and some in greater measure, like great athletes, great artists, great mathematicians. We all have our talents, and some in greater measure than others. But these are talents, you see, that science and, well, they were wishes at the stake for centuries. We're doing things like this. Hopefully we're past that, but we're now understanding these are normal human capabilities, and that mind-matter interactions are a perfectly normal thing. And mind-over-matter interactions are perfectly normal things. And we have demonstrated there in the quantum world, because you can't screen them out with magnetic screening, Faraday cage screening. But you can screen out television, radio, and all these sorts of things. But you can't screen out gravitation or these types of effects. So we know we're dealing with a quantum level phenomenon. And the more we research and open this up, the more normal it becomes, the easier it will be for our children to grasp and their natural talents and capabilities, and we can help them develop these in a proper, sane way as they grow up. And I know my children, and I have both adopted children and bio children, what I tried to teach them in my life was put more back into the system than you take out. And they've all done that, so I'm very proud of them. That was my major task, I thought, as a parent, was to teach them to live sanely, honestly, and to put more in the system than they took out. And I can say it worked. And I recommend that.
Do you have one book that you recommend do you have one book that you recommend to start with on that type of guiding children? A book. Do you have a book you could recommend?
No, I really don't. There's an awful lot of good ones out there.
All right, folks, we have 5 minutes, that's it. 3 very quick type questions.
Okay.
This is the last 3.
Okay, I have 2 questions. When you're talking about the dyad in energy and matter, do you ever consider a triad of something, an additional category? How do you relate, you have the EMC square and the Einstein field theory. Do you also work with the, which works with the curvature of time? Do you also work with the spin factors, and how does that relate to the electromagnetic field that you were talking about?
Well, first of all, there are quite a few effects here that need investigating, and spin and torsion fields are vital to that. However, I do challenge some of the general relativistic notions like curvature of space and time. Space is pretty empty. Do you know how to curve something that's empty, something that's nothing, that's of that substance? I mean, you can't curve air. Okay, you can blow around buildings, but it doesn't naturally have a curve. And so we now can explain, for example, light bending around planets because that the field around the planet has a characteristic that refracts light, as opposed to the old notion that somehow space is curved around planets. And to me, that's no longer a valid notion. It's still academically acceptable.
How does that work then if we have geometries that work with like a double tube torus type geometrical configuration that would maybe give us 4 instead of the 2?
Well, resolving these types of anomalies, and that's what science is about. You postulate, you do experiments to prove your postulate, and then you start to find anomalies that don't fit those experiments. And that's what science is about. We proceed through anomalies. And there is a society called the Society for Scientific Exploration that is devoted precisely to that phenomenon, the anomalies that are now existing in our theoretical structures. And they're all over the place.
Right.
And that's what we have to handle.
So you see the double tube torus concept,
Right.
the double tube torus and the geometrics that would create that, because we see it in the galaxies and the nebulas as well as possibly in our planet. That explains or ties in with the black hole and again, energy either turning into matter or new things being formed.
Well, I think what you're raising is some very, very complex issues that are a little too complex for this venue.
Yeah, I think
Okay,
so.
maybe.
Not a good
I
time to get into
I
advanced
just
physics.
wanted to see if you know, you were working on that or where I could
Yes,
go.
the
that
answer
would-
is yes. There are
And is
people
there a
that are
particular
working on it.
website that I could go to?
No, I can't answer.
That, okay.
That you will find the answer to what you're asking. But our contract website,
Okay.
we have a team working on precisely these anomalous issues.
One other quick question. Are you working with the difference between the brain as it works through the heart, which does radiate in oneness, versus the brain and the head? Because I find them very different, and it does work
Well,
with the
there are
shift of
people working
consciousness.
on, the heart math people are working on that one very strongly. And the rest of us are cognizant of those issues, but I don't have any particular experts. Well, that isn't true. There's a couple of guys that are interested in that particular area, and we're hoping to have funding so they can get closer to work right away.
Thank
All
you
right, thank
so
you.
much.
Appreciate it. All right, sir, very quick.